What's going on, everyone? So welcome to my latest video. This is part of a series where I focus on a specific director and rank that director's work from worst to best. Done such directors in the past such as Spike Lee, Spike Jonze, David Fincher, Christopher Nolan, and many more directors. You guys can check out those directors as well as many more on my director playlist down below. But guys, you clicked on this video so you know it. This time around, I'm focusing on Rajkumar Hirani's films and ranking them from worst to best. Now, I am filming this at the end of February of 2024, and as of said month and year, Rajkumar Hirani has done 6 films, so I'll be ranking them from 6 being his worst to 1 being his best, and of course, my humble opinion. And also, I do want to preface this. This will not include any short films, any TV shows that he might have done, any documentaries, none of that. Just specifically featuring feature-length films. And again, Rajkumar Hirani has done 6, so I'll be ranking them from 6 being his worst to 1 being his best, and of course, my humble opinion. And I do look forward to seeing your ranking down below in the comment section. But guys, enough exposition. Let's get started. So kicking things off, number 6, we have his most recent entry, and that is Donkey. Donkey is a film that I felt pretty mixed about. In fact, I would say that this is the first venture into Indian cinema that I actually wasn't a big fan of. I thought that it was too long, it was too bloated, just really didn't keep my interest, unfortunately. I thought it was pretty middle of the road, but I will say this, if you did like this movie, I can definitely understand why. I just unfortunately wasn't really on board with this movie. Again, on paper, some of it does work, but unfortunately the execution did leave a lot to be desired, and that's why it is my number 6. Next up, my number 5, and I want to apologize in advance if I butcher any of these names. I do apologize. I am an American viewer. That doesn't immediately say like, hey, you can say whatever, but I'm trying here. But anyways, next up, my number 5, we have Sanju. So this movie I liked a little bit better than Donkey. I think that this is one of those movies where I like some of the elements, I do, but then there are other elements that did unfortunately bring down the pacing. Like, this is definitely a movie that felt a little bit too long, and I do think that the pacing was a bit wonky. But I do understand with what it's going for, and I do appreciate the character study and how that aspect is pretty interesting. But as a whole, I thought this was all right. But again, I did like it better than Donkey, and that's why it is my number 5. Next up, my number 4 to 1. These are all movies that I think are good, took fantastic. But let's get started. My number 4, we have Laji Rahu Mani Bahi. I liked this film. I did not know that it was a sequel until I was doing this ranking video, and I was like, oh my goodness. I got even more excited to check this out. And just like its predecessor, I think that this is one of those movies where it does a great job of being heartwarming, serious, and just a crowd-pleasing venture into into Indian cinema. It is a very, very interesting film. I think that it is especially strong in the second half, and I also just really like the characters. They are very interesting. They are also at the same time very warm and welcoming and funny. It's just a really well done film. I can definitely see myself rewatching this down the line because I do like it. I think that it's good, and it especially has a very strong third act. So if you haven't seen this film, I would definitely recommend it. But that being said, you guys see that this is my number 4. My number 3 is actually the film that first came before it, and that is my number 3, which is Mame Bahi MBBS. So this is the film that is actually the first entry to Laji Rahu Mani Bahi. It focuses on the same lead character, and this entry I really liked. This is actually a film that I didn't know really about until I saw that it was on IMDb's Top 250. Keep in mind, this was like 7-8 years ago when it was actually on IMDb's Top 250, but I'm glad that I checked this out at that time because I really liked it. I thought that it was a really good character study, and I think that it's very insightful, and at the same time, it really has a lot of interesting themes that it delves into. It is long, yes, but I never felt like the runtime was, out-welcomed. I thought that it was really good, very consistent in terms of its entertainment value, and also it's just really good. Like you see, I like it slightly better than the sequel, but again, I do think that both of these films I would highly recommend. They are really good. So that was my number 3. Next up, my number 2, we have PK. So this is the film that came out in 2014, and I do remember when it came out, and I've been putting it off for like a decade, and after finally watching it like a week or 2 ago, I'm kicking myself that I waited so long because I really liked this film. This is a film that with each passing minute, it gets better and better. And similar to Laji Rahu Mani Bahi, this is a film with a third act that is just so good. I loved the storytelling here, and Amir Khan also gives a fantastic performance, but what else is new? He's such a good actor. Really like this film, would highly recommend PK if you've been sitting on it. It is on Netflix, which I forgot to mention, a lot of these are on Netflix. I believe Donkey, Sanju, and PK are all on Netflix. So I would highly recommend you guys check out PK. That it is really good. But that being said, PK was really good, but it's not great enough to where it took my number one slot. My number one slot is the film that I first saw in terms of Rajkumar Hirani's filmography, and it is the film that got me into Indian cinema in the first place. And that is my number one, which is Three Idiots. Love this film. Similar to Money by MBBS, this is a film that was on IMDb's Top 250, and it still is to this day. And it is how I heard about this film, and it's what made me decide to check it out. And I'm so glad that I did, because I loved Three Idiots. I loved it 10 years ago, and I rewatched it last night, and it still holds up. I think it is a fantastic film, and I think I might even like it better now that I'm older and even more of a seasoned filmgoer. I like it even more. Amir Khan just gives such a fantastic performance. He is truly a great actor. I love with what he brings to the table. And this is just an overall really, really, really well-made, inspirational, feel-good film, whilst at the same time tackling themes that are very lofty and really important. Definitely a film that I would highly recommend if you've been sitting on for some reason. Highly, highly recommend Three Idiots. And yeah, that's why Three Idiots is my number one. Now, with these director rankings, I do try to talk about the director a little bit afterwards. And I will say this. Rajkumar Hirani, I think that he works best in his early days, in that when he works with Amir Khan and the lead actor of Money by MBBS. I think that when he's working with those actors, he soars. It's a perfect combination of his style with their acting styles. But unfortunately, his last two entries, Donkey and Sanju, I just think that they're not as well directed, in my opinion. I'm hoping that his next entry, like his seventh film, I do hope that it is really good. But as it stands, I do think his last two movies, unfortunately, were waning in quality. But still, I mean, he's 4 out of 6 in my books. So, I mean, that's really good. And I do like his style. I love his combination of heartfelt, drama, whilst at the same time really hitting home the emotions that he's going for, and having a lot of important themes and messages, whilst at the same time still trying to focus on entertainment value. And his films also are really good in terms of being able to manage length. So I overall really like him. That's one of the reasons why I decided to watch all his films and rank them. And I'm glad that I did, because he is a really, really good director. And I look forward to seeing what he does next. But you guys, that is my ranking for Rajkumar Hirani's films. Let me know your ranking of his films in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget the subscription, notification bell, follow me down Letterboxd, and I will catch you guys later.